afternoon, and I hope you had good weekends. The weather was beautiful, and now you're ready for work this week at school. First, I'm going to make a few announcements. Please take notes of every lecture, I tell you that, of the guest speaker, because your final exam will be based on each lecturer's talk. Also, please start handing in your field trips. You're responsible for 5 field trips. Please don't wait till the end of the semester. We need them as soon as you hand them in. And if you want to know how to present them, go to A639. There's a bulletin board with various examples of the way you present your field trips. As you know, your course outline, you are allowed 2 absences. And to be excused, you present a doctor's note. And I did say all registered students sit in the lower amphitheater. Also, for registered students, we have a request from a company who does bridal dresses, Winnie Couture. There's going to be a wedding couture show at the Waldorf Astoria from October 20th to the 23rd. And they need people to volunteer to dress, greet buyers, and set up displays and merchandise. If you want any more information, come to room A639 and I will give you the details on the flyer, the phone number and everything. Okay? Winnie Couture, the 20th to 23rd. And that's, and I'm sure you've turned off your cell phones and you're going to pay attention to a very, very exciting, informative lecture today. And be ready with questions, please. I am very, very honored to tell you we have Mr. Andrew and Mrs. Mimi Shah, as it's pronounced. They are the corporate director and chief executive officers of a company called Ace Style Intimate Apparel. Mr. Andrew is the founder and CEO of the ACE Style Group, the chairman and founder of the Hong Kong Intimate Apparel Industries Association, and the founder of both ACE Style Institute of Intimate Apparel and ITC of Hong Kong, Holly University, and De Montfort University in Leicester, England. To tell you a little bit about their background, Mimi and Andrew are pioneers in the intimate apparel industry in Hong Kong, and they arrived last night just to be here for us at FIT. And they are the co-founders of the ACE Style Group, whose success started with the manufacture of intimate apparel for the USA and the European markets. They have grown into a vertical group of companies based in Hong Kong, and they employ 10,000 people worldwide. You can imagine what a big enterprise this is. Apart from their entrepreneurship, they are dedicated to ethical business of supporting and caring for the educational needs of the future generations' needs and the poor. Their substantial contributions to many universities in China and the UK are without measure. Their dedication to the intimate apparel industry has been recognized in many ways, particularly by Hong Kong's government as well as the Hong Kong Baptist University, receiving an honorary doctorate degree. On November 6th, Andrew and Mimi Shah will be the recipients of 2007 Hub Award, given by the Intimate Apparel Square Club for their continued good works. And now I want to say that you're going to be presented with the story of Hong Kong lingerie industry yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I would like to give the podium over to Mr. Andrew Shah.
Well, thank you, Professor Babesian, for this wonderful introduction. And also thank you for inviting me over here to give this lecture to the audience here today. Since this is the first time that I have been invited to come and to speak in front of such an audience, I have the lack of the knowledge of knowing one another beforehand. This is certainly a challenge for me and for you. So please help me as well. I'm very pleased with the turnout, and I do hope that as the afternoon goes on, it will give you the view of what is happening across the world. Or at least you will know from where I came from and accept me on the basis that I come with a very good intention. I would also like to point out that the backdrop as presented the PowerPoint, which we are going to show you right away, is to draw your attention, because this is trademark of our company's design capabilities. And our designers from New York, from London, from Hong Kong and from China, they use this as, I call it, a playground to do things that they like, they appreciate. And now this has been accepted by the industry, by the retailers. They ask us to present them twice a year. Normally we go ranging from 4 to 5 themes for each season. So I would like to present you the Fall/Winter 2008-2009 collection. But we don't have Jennifer here today, otherwise she could do the presentation of those, right? We just have to look through, please. And it has the theme and the colors and design and the kind of fabrication we go along with the ideas we try to bring across for the Autumn/Winter Boy and 09. Do you like it? Yeah, so probably let's see how the response will get along today. Perhaps we can come by one of these days and do the presentation to the class about what this thing we are doing, so it can become part of their work, right? Okay, so now we come to the thing now. Okay, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself that I'm Andrew Sias, and I was born in Shanghai, and I was brought up in Hong Kong. And my education was done in Hong Kong, of which was a British colony until 1997. The education provided was influenced by the English, and almost all of us are bilingual. I married my wife, and she's with me today. And together we not only raised a family of the 2 lovely daughters, but also we have found a company together. For my business, which is an international business, and it requires very frequent traveling, and I have been traveling around the world for the last 30 years, and I have learned a lot among all the countries that I am frequently visiting. There are so many opportunities out there, and there are also the equal threats as well, and fears out there. Lately, I saw a survey here in the US that the fears of the US are about China that's 50%. Wall Street, 30%. Spouse, 8%. Boss, 7%. Computer, 6%. So I think that survey is quite interesting. It tells us quite a bit of things what the Americans are fear of. So how are we going to turn our fears into opportunities, which will be worth our effort? And if you cannot overcome your fear, then you will still be under threat and won't be able to solve your problem. And before we go into today's topic, I would like to share with you our company's mission statement, which states that our mission is to consistently design and manufacture premium quality ladies' lingerie for our customers while observing the ethics of religion, humanity, and environmental responsibilities. This was written in 1993, and we still find that it is giving us the initiative and the drive. Now we come to today's topic, the Hong Kong lingerie industry, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There are 5 parts of it. The first part starts with remember where our industry came from. Now, it all began in the 50s, when you guys and elders here started one of his first movies in Hollywood called The Jailhouse Rock, and he was covering the theme song. But also our predecessors, known to many of us as the forefathers, started their factories in the old buildings in Hong Kong, Kowloon City and Sham Shui Po. A few lucky ones started in Kwun Tong and Tai Kok Tsui. They were all manufacturing brassieres and underwear for the export market and some even for the domestic market. Names like Top Form, Triumph, Fidelity, Styler, Matex, and several others are still in existence today. I was told that the fabrics they were using were cotton lawn with a single needle going around the bra cups like a spider making its web. We can't say that those were the good old days, as Hong Kong was full of refugees from China. The unemployment rate was alarmingly high, and a lot of people were forced to find their means to make this as a living. We have to know that in those days, jobs were very difficult to come by. I believe that things were the same everywhere, as Europe was recovering from the Second World War, and countries were busy rebuilding themselves. Small industries, like this type of home industry, were coming up like mushroom. Our pioneers in our industry, whom was mentioned before, Triumph, Clover, Fidelity, Styler, Matex, Top Form, just to mention a few, started the business under those not so favorable environment, but I'm here today to salute them. It continued into the 60s, and the situation remained the same. Many of us could have remembered that in the 1967, Hong Kong suffered from riot, and the society wasn't very stable. It was during the famous Cultural Revolution. If you study Chinese history, you will know about that. And then came the 70s. We saw the bigger factories being established in the industrial areas such as the Castle Peak Road, Tai Chi Kok, Kwun Tong, Sham Shui Po, just to mention a few. And we saw also the overseas buyers like Carrefour and October Sun from Germany, Hema from Holland, Bestform from the US, Lovable from UK, and some others began to travel to the Far East and started the importation. Soon the US and the individual European countries enforced the export quota on Hong Kong. In the meantime, the manufacturing in Hong Kong also extended to the other industries such as the semiconductors and electronics. The workforce became very scarce to come by, and we have seen investments moving out to neighboring countries like Indonesia, Thailand, the Philippine Islands, and even Sri Lanka. And they all took place already in the 70s. They were all for the threat of the quota and the labor shortage situation. It was until the late 70s, China began to open its doors for the investors from Hong Kong. Our forefathers began to cross over to Shenzhen and Dongguan to set up factories. It all began from then. Since that time, we have not been looking back. We can rightly claim that Hong Kong was the cradle of the intimate apparel industry in our part of the world, and we can also rightly announce that within the Pearl River Delta, this represents the 40% of the global output. OEM, the original engineering, which means to produce in accordance to the original design. This means there is no design being involved, and at the beginning, this was the only thing known to the manufacturers. We saw the major brands from both Europe and the US sourcing for their production in Hong Kong. We saw big orders with the long-lasting styles being placed on the 12 and even 18-month span. It was only a question of how fast you can produce and how much you can supply. But those were the good old days. Now, where the industry is today, we have to ask ourselves. Today, we have turned the Pearl River Delta in the southern part of China into the hub of the supply chain of the intimate apparel. We have never seen anything anywhere in the world for these densely concentrated manufacturers who are focusing on this unique product. I can say that within the radius of the 15 kilometers, we can find the most complete supply chain for the manufacturing of the brassieres. As today the market has become more mature, we have seen new faces both from the manufacturer side as well as from the customer side. There are new retailers coming up who are mostly the standalone type and the specialty stores. Most of them are in chains of 200 until 1,000 stores across the nation. Some are even multinational retailers who are operating in different countries and in different continents. And in another word, that we are facing a situation that supply has exceeded the demand in many different ways. But the good thing is that we are more ready than our forefathers, as we are better educated, and the world has also become smaller due to globalization. Today, electronic communication and the information technology allow us to work a lot better than yesterday. Doing business today will require us to be more ready than before. We are talking about compliance, about the labor code, and the adoption of the SA 8000, REP, ISO 9001, and ISO 14000 are becoming the everyday practice in our business. Everybody is talking about the eco plan. The recycle and the green protection is something that we have to invest for the better world that we hope to pass to our future generations. We are emphasizing more and more on the recyclable raw materials, such as the polypropylene and polyester. Natural yarns like soya, bamboo, milk, and organic cotton, they are getting more and more popular. Our environment is our legacy. We have made a mistake as we have expanded too fast and we didn't pay too much the attention to try to observe and to conserve our environment. But it is not too late if we can start to correct that now, and then Mother Nature will be able to heal herself. It is also vital for us to educate those who have not the knowledge and make sure that they will come to realize the importance of observing these. We have more access to the new technology nowadays with modern machinery that are catering for the better and lighter garments. Performance fabrics are obtainable at our fingertips, unlike the old days. Stitchless and cutting edge are getting more popular today. We are in the world of technology and the explosion of information. Very often we have found ourselves to be running out of time as everything is going faster and faster. I'm going to continue to talk about the perspective of a bra manufacturer in China. In China, which is a very strong market, and it is on our doorstep, and the market is getting more and more mature every day. What they are looking for are the creativity, innovation, and the building up of the brands. We need to have our own brands, and in this most populated market, and according to what The Economist is telling us in their 2006 statistics, that China is a country of 1.3 billion of population. Adult literacy is 90.9%. Now, in comparison with US, UK and France, which is 99%. The urban population of China is 38.6%, which is still quite low. We will also need the retail environment to help to launch our brands and our products. Retailing, brand manufacturing, advertising, distribution, logistics, are the subjects that we need to emphasize to the universities. In terms of inventions and innovation, the number of patents granted to residents is still leading by Japan, followed by United States, South Korea, and Taiwan. China is only number 8, and we have a lot to catch up with. Actually, we all should take Korea as our model, as it is only in the early 80s that the Korean government made the effort to encourage their nationals to develop in the innovation, and today they are already number 2, and next to Japan and the US, which have been the leaders for a very long time. A good example is Samsung, as we all know about. I also believe that if the Westerners who have the vision to enter into this market should start their groundwork immediately. I think that if we can open and be transparent with one another, we can jointly create the opportunities that will bring us a win-win situation. The market and the challenge are so big that we will need to have partners who can bring the equal value in the joint venture. It will be a long-term collaboration and the result will be rewarding. Tomorrow is more sophisticated. It is even more demanding, and it takes the better planning. We will enter into things that we are not familiar to us. We have to learn. We need to be honest and to be humble. With the product knowledge and supply base, we turned ourselves into the market leader. We are already the platform, and it is at our fingertip. The Hong Kong Mall City, which is organized by Euromed, is a platform for the China market, and it allows us to introduce the brands into this big market. Then I move on to introduce you who we are and what is the belief of A-Style. Having been speaking quite a bit about the industry from our part of the world, I would like to introduce you to our group. I'm afraid that the long and boring PowerPoint presentation for the corporation, and that was why I'm making this one out for my favorite customers. A-Style Corporate Overview. Founded in 1985, the headquarters is in Hong Kong, SAR, China. Total employee as of 31st May, it was 10,011. And we have our operations in 6 locations: Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Huadu, Manila, New York, and London. But for production, we are in Shenzhen, in Huadu, both are in China, and we have another production in the Philippines, in Manila. And then the productivity has to do with the number of production hours we put into our organization. So you can see the 5-year plan. So this year we are talking about roughly about 30 million garments. And the total revenue is 185 million. The rest are our plan, our guesstimation, of course. Now we come to our business beliefs, that the most important part is the ethical business is the most important point for us. Now we are in bra business, in lingerie business. The fitting of the garment is very important. Fit for the business. When I say fit of the business means all parties must be matching. It's like matchmaking with the staff, with the customers, with the manufacturers, with the service providers as well. We have to like each other. Quality. We can only survive with quality. And that is no matter what price the customer is willing to pay for the products, we must give them a good quality. Value is something that we strive for. In any case, we have to give them value. Value comes in many different ways, of course. Complete services and transparent sharing of information, which is a two-way street. Business tools. When we started the presentation, I spoke about the Studio 183, and it is our trademark collection to showcase our creative and technical design and product development capabilities. And all our designers are taking part in this. Now, A-Style is also rich in global design resources. Internally, we have creative designers who are artistic, who are creative, but on the other hand, we have also a very strong team of technical designers who are capable to turn designs into garments, wearable garments. and then from wearable garments to different sizes as well. Externally, we have fabric and style presentation reporting service that we subscribe to Gil Lawrence Design International as well as Concepts Paris. Fiori Textile is our arm for textile development. It's fully vertical integrated from knitting, dyeing, finishing, and we also have digital printing as well. Tommy Stock is our own company, and that company is dedicated for molding, lamination, and cut wires. These are all the key components for the braziers. And of course, we have the A-Style Innovative Product Development Center established for development of the new technology and techniques and product diversification. Coming to the customer base, Marks & Spencer, of course, is the number one retailer in UK for intimate apparel, of course. And they are having, of course, the potential of growing their international business as well. VS is number one in the US, who is also becoming international with the acquisition of the Sense in Canada, and they will also begin in Japan very soon. Calvin Klein, an iconic US brand, and has become international, and their penetration in Europe, so that you know, is even bigger than the US market now. Abercrombie & Fitch, a top American casual wear brand targeted to the suburban kids from 14 to 28 years old, and they are launching their lingerie, which is known as Concept 5. I would like to mention Carrefour. Carrefour is number 2 retailer in the world. Number 1, of course, we know is Walmart. Other better brands like Donna Karan, Emma Carson, Emporio Armani, Argento Vivo, Princess Tata, Uniqlo, Hanro. Now, the product range, we always focus on the better products with design, quality, and value. Intimate apparel, primarily we are the manufacturers, but we also make full coordinate sets. Panty program is an area that has the potential of growth as mix and match is becoming more significant. Need to have synergy with the product line of bras. Swimwear has always been in our production program, but it is not as big as we would like to be. We specialize in technical, precise fit and cuff sizes for swimwear. We see this as an opportunity for us. Activewear is an area where we can utilize the understanding of technical body fit, creative, aesthetic, and also performance in innovative textiles and pants. A new area that we want to provide more options in is the superfine cotton, organic cotton, modal, natural, and synthetic blended fabrics. We also have challenges. Lead time from concept to market. Currently, it is too long. I forgot what H&M, they are very, very fast. I think it's like 30 days they can react to the market. But our lead time is 27 weeks, so we have to pay attention. Now, if we can reduce 2 weeks out of the equation, it will help. VMI, Vendor Management Inventory, is an application to produce the right product at the right time and deliver them to the shop floor. Value is an ongoing exercise of improvement. When we started doing business with Carrefour, the number 2 retailer in the world, please bear with me that the price they try to drive is such a challenge that we have a lot to learn from them. And it's really an eye-opener for us. Continuous training of people and spirit of striving for improvement is essential to the current business environment. New technology, the need to search for new ideas. These are all challenges. Eco-consciousness, from office to factory, and encourage our people also to bring this to your daily life, to home as well. Living with an ecological mindset is a must today. Education and industry support. Founder of the A-Star Intimate Apparel Institute, both in Hong Kong Polytechnic University and the Montfort University in Leicester, UK. Founder or chairman of the Hong Kong Intimate Apparel Industry Association. Supporting partners of Euromed, an international organization for intimate apparel. That's exhibition, of course. Supporting partner for global sourcing, who is also an exhibition organizer in our region of the world, and supporting partner of Shenzhen Launching Fair for brands in China. Those are our focuses, of course. Now, what else is out there for the industry to leverage? There are the various platforms that we can use out there. I would like to spend some time to go over them with you in the greater details. HKIAIA. We have also found ourselves today in a more open society now. We have seen the establishing of the trade associations in Hong Kong, which is known as the Hong Kong Intimate Apparel Industries Association, and it is the 4th year of its founding. Today, we have 120 members, who are mostly companies plus some professionals like designers and lecturers in our specific field. There are the 3 objectives that have clearly stated since the first day of establishing, and we are observing them closely. The number 1 is to promote learning, research, education and training in the intimate apparel and related industries. Number 2 is to enhance communication, interaction and cooperation among members, and to establish liaison with and convey collective views to government bodies, trade or industrial organizations in Hong Kong and the overseas. Number 3 is to develop, foster and promote the best practice in the industries. Then we have ASIA in Hong Kong. At the same time, we have found the A-Star Institute of Intimate Apparel together with the ITC of the Hong Kong Poly University. In May this year, we saw the graduation of the first batch of the full-time students, and they have all joined the different companies of our industry. We are working on the exchange program with the Montfort University from Leicester and the Hong Kong Poly University for the students studying in the ASIA. All these are for the betterment again of our industry in our region. Then the ASIA in Leicester, UK. There is also the ASIA there, and they have the contour design course, and every year there are more than 50 students graduate from there. This year is their 50th anniversary. I found out that 3 of the graduates of this year went to Abercrombie and Fitch in Columbus to work. The chartered members are done by invitation every year. They are all the related companies in our industry, and they participated in providing with some funds, plus they would keep placements to the students during the summer. In the past 4 years, many of the companies who had took place in this program, I would like to name them here so that you know who they are. Venus, producer of adhesive films for the soul-free items. Boselli is famous for their woven stretch fabrics. Clover, one of the leading Brazilian manufacturers in Hong Kong and China. Continental Fiber, a very good fiber producer, mainly in nylon. Debenhams, one of the leading department stores in the UK. Euro Jersey, the creator of the sensitive fabrics. Gerber Technology, the leading CAD/CAM provider for the garment industry. Iluna, the biggest lace producer in Italy and perhaps today in Europe. Lectra, another leader in CAD/CAM provider for the garment industry. Libar, an innovative watt meter. Marley Stackers, an avant-garde designer for lingerie. Monat Knitting Machinery, the world-renowned circular machine builder. Noyon, the famous French lace knitter. Nylatex, lingerie and sportswear watt meter. Pacific Textile, a circular knitter, and lately they also added the watt knitting, and they are located in China. Pioneer, the leading elastic producer in China. Sew Systems, providing the equipment for the sew-free applications. Stretchline, and other famous elastic producers in various parts of the world. Tavistock, cupwire producer. Topform, the leading bra manufacturers who is producing 50 million bras per year in our region. Then I move on to the fair organizer, Eurovet. Eurovet is the leading trade organizer, and most of the key players in our field will attend the 2 fairs as organizer in Paris, which is taking place in January and Lyon in September. The beginning of this year, we saw that Eurovet started to add an edition in April known as the Hong Kong Mode Lingerie. Now, this will become part of their global exhibition, especially focusing on our intimate apparel industry. The trade association, HKIIA, is associated with Eurovet in the launching of this very important trade fair in Hong Kong. And ASIA, together with the ITC of the HKPU, is also making an important part in organizing the forum emphasizing on the education, innovation, and environmental. Again, all these are for the betterment of our industry, and we have to admit that once the foundation has been laid down, one can plan for our tomorrow. So that you all know that for this kind of fair, for our specific field, as organized by Eurovet, and it has grown into a very tightly knitted events around our calendar. In January, you can see the exhibition organized in Paris. In April, they moved the fair to Hong Kong, and in September, the whole world will be in Lyon, and then in October, they moved the fair to Shanghai. Coming to the conclusion now, it brings us now to the end of this afternoon lecture. In these short 30 minutes, I hope that you get to know about us. It is also important you have realized there's the same passion and enthusiastic that we have experienced from our work. A lot of people, they have experience in the different areas, but I came from 10,000 miles away, and I'm here to tell you that there are opportunities out there, and you have to deal with the challenges that may come your way. I remember that when I took my first overseas flight, it was to Italy, to Milan in Italy. I had to make 5 stops in those days. Now, globalization is only possible when you try to bring the distance closer. But in reality, I'm telling you that the distance remains the same. It has never been shortened. But it is the speed of the travel and the mindset that has brought us close together. And that's why I'm here now. Thank you. Questions? Rosalind? Please tell me.
I think you should let all these aspiring designers know that lingerie is the basis of all design, dresses, sportswear, and everything else. We build on this, and they could not do all the things they do without the lingerie inside.
Bravo. We have with us a very famous and dedicated person, Ross Hart, of the Intimate Apparel. Questions? I'm so happy you came, Ross. That was perfect. Yes, up there.
I won't let you go if you don't give me 10 questions today.
There's a question.
There's one. Okay, good.
I'm impressed by your dedication to ethical business, being that that's something I aspire to eventually. And I was wondering, is that a founding principle of your business, or is that something that you developed more recently?
I'm going to answer that. That is definitely the founding basis of their business. I've known these people. They are more than honest that there is such a thing.
Yes.
And they are caring and ethical.
Yes,
I wish we had to say the same about everybody.
yes. Bravo. Yes.
Thank you, Rosalind, for building me up on this one.
Questions? How would you like to work in Hong Kong? You should ask Mr. Schultz.
I see a lot of Asian faces here. Where are you from?
Korea, raise your hand. How many from Korea?
You should be proud of your country now, because I mentioned something that it was in 1990 when Samsung first decided to adopt the original design. And today they are the star, right? Samsung, I believe, is into everything now, and they are so successful. And no scandal, of course, in that company. And they are good. And you should be proud of your country.
How many from Japan?
Good. I mean, very original design, of course, right? I think we all started our industry copying the Western world, but came to a point that we have to do original design. And we better do our original design well and good. So the best place is to start from the market. This is the market. This is where the trend starts. Europe, the US, you drive the fashion, you drive the trend. But you have to come with the original designs, of course.
I think, Mr. Shaw, you opened a whole world for the future, for the young people. I hope you have opened your mind to the possibilities that are in front of you globally. There's a question up there.
Question.
Yeah, I have a question about your opinion on your personal prediction about the cultural development of China in the future, because I don't know much about China, but everyone is surprised about this very rapid economic growth, but it's very lastimized. I would like you to give me your opinion about if you think it's going to be, there's more
Yeah, good question. China, as we all know, that is coming up very rapidly, of course. And I believe that also China learned a lot from the mistakes we all made, so they can come out so quickly. But they have their problems as well, because we are talking about 1.4 billion people. And the education average is like 90%, of course. And only 38% of them lives in the urban areas. So a lot of people are still living in inland, which are hard to come by from the road, of course, and they are not opened up yet. China has a lot to improve. For example, like the articles that we talk about. The point I have emphasized here, although I was born there, but I was fortunate enough to be raised up in Hong Kong as well. We receive education which is westernized already. We have a strong belief in laws and orders as well. We know what is the value that the Westerners are looking upon that, and we know the benefit of that as well. But the important thing is to bring them education also. By helping them, it's like helping ourselves as well. Because of the workforce, of the dynamic of the people there, they are more productive, they are more hardworking, and besides, when you help to open up that market, it is a very big consumer market as well. It's almost like 4 times of the US. So imagine that America, just like 25% of the total population of China, you can see how big that economy is. The scale is going to rise. But we need a lot of help from each other. And of course, I would certainly like to be asked again to come and speak. Then I will do some research, some study about China in order that I can bring you the first-hand knowledge here.
No more questions?
We have 8 more.
Last chance.
You can't know 8 questions. I will leave until they have 10 questions.
May I ask, how many of you are fashion design majors? Okay. How many of you are fashion marketing? Just a few. Well, fashion design, someone's whole creativity, an industry that's looking for innovation all the time. You're very fortunate.
We need buyers, right? We need merchandisers. We need
I
designers.
thought we had more fashion marketers.
Maybe they are not here
They're not
today.
here today.
Right. I was told that this college is famous for the
Yes.
merchandising as well.
Yes.
Very strong. Yeah. Any questions? If you have no questions, I have a question for you. Do you like my presentation? Come on, give me an honest reply. Thank you.
What part of your presentation opened doors in your mind? Can you express someone? What did you find most interesting? Yes. All the what?
Challenge that you face in
That's it, yes. And the
That's good.
The visuals.
Good.
Good. What else? Anything else? Before we close? The sense of humor always. Yes.
Oh, let's come along. Let's free.
Well, Mr. Andrew Shaw, you've been most generous and so giving. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.